So we finished our quiz party.
Well, there was the questions by Butler and Beatrice that we haven't had yet. But technically, yes, Angie fell asleep. What is that face for? What are you making that face for?
I thought it would be obvious.
What?
I thought it would be obvious. Anyway.
Why? Why did you expect me to pick up things easily?
We just watched John Wick. I thought you'd pick up on these things now. Anyway, we're getting back into it. What's happening next, do you reckon?
Probably gonna potentially go back to like the present day. Maybe. Where you've got like grown up Angie
okay,
and
just stop.
What?
No more.
What? I forget his name every time. What's his name?
Amakusa.
Amakusa. Okay.
I think that is what's happening, so that's why I'm saying that. After putting Argy to sleep in the parlour, Genji and the others returned. Thanks. Was she sleeping well? Yes, she is sleeping peacefully.
The noise from here won't reach the parlour, right? That's right. The door is closed, so I don't think it will reach.
Argy, sweet dreams.
Das vidania. Well then, that's enough solemn farewells. Let us begin the magnificent festivities we have planned for the after party.
When Beato clapped her hands loudly above her head, a white flash filled the hall, and its entire appearance changed in an instant. The hall had transformed into a golden party chamber, with gold butterflies flitting about and gold leaf dancing everywhere.
She is very flashy, isn't she? She loves her extravagant parties.
Yes, that's... I don't know, that's an interesting thought, I guess. You think about the person behind it. Yes, the true party shall begin now! You said it! Okay, the anti-magic toxin is totally gone. Everyone, come on in! The party after the show is about to start. Just like, now that the Killjoy is asleep, we can have all the magic characters. With a burst of applause and cheering, a tornado of gold butterflies rose up in the center of the room. By the time it passed, the number of faces had grown significantly.
So all the spikes? What are they? Stakes. All the stakes. Oh, Virgilia! It's been ages! Let the witch of the future find happiness, and let us of the past be rewarded for our efforts, yes?
Indeed. Let us enjoy ourselves as well.
Come on, haven't we been enjoying ourselves the whole time?
In this world, the one who enjoys the most is the true winner.
Come, let's have the 7 sisters over here too. Is that me or you?
No, that's you.
The 7 sisters of purgatory, right here! I think that's you. Which one is she? It looks different. I'm so used to the old ones.
Leviathan is Kyrie's one. I can't believe the game's finally over. Wow.
So she's greed then?
Envy.
What do you think you're doing, crying at the after party? You little crybaby.
A sloth? Lord Battler, Beatrice Summer, thank you for the invitation. That's Angie's friend. I want to see 6-year-old. How was it? Had like an American twist to it, didn't it?
It's just like that.
I want to see 6-year-old Andy Summer's sleeping face and have it all to myself. Glutton?
Yeah. That was your vision.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what it did. I want to see the food and have it all to myself.
Then I want a hot guy to have all to myself.
Why are you clinging to Butler when you say that? Stop, thief!
Yeah, you got George right there.
Do you think George would go for anyone other than Shannon if he had the option?
I don't know. Maybe he just never had another option for the rest of his life confirmed.
Maybe he just focused all his attention on Shannon.
Yeah. Glad to see you, Seven Sisters of Purgatory. Enjoy yourselves. Ah, yes. Things do get much noisier the moment they enter a room. And what's so terrible about that? In fact, it still isn't nearly noisy enough. Another gold cyclone rose up. In its wake, 3 people with bunny ears came into view. Siesta Sisters, Imperial Guards right here.
It's such an honor to be summoned to a gathering such as this.
I haven't had nearly enough fun for it to end yet, yeah?
There, I agree with you, but fear not, for our game shall continue much longer than this.
For eternity, inside the cat box. Glad to have you here, Siesta Sisters.
Is the key that they've given her, like, the key technically to the cat box, and once she opens it, the game is, like, over? She kills everyone?
Do you remember what's happened through the whole episode so far?
This is a big ask.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
I'm not sure what you mean. Like,
I'm trying to remember
it's Battler's game.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if a certain thing has been, like, revealed yet.
Well, we found out who Battler's real mum was.
I mean, thinking in modern, present tense. Like, what's happening in the present times.
No, I don't think. It's still Anji and Amakusa driving in a car at the moment.
Okay. Lord Battler, allow me to express our deep gratitude for your invitation. In the future, we will endeavour to show even more... Come on, don't be so stiff and formal. Tonight, we're all equal. That's right, yeah. Battler gets it, yeah.
Stop it! 410! Was it 410? 410! You're getting carried away! We'll get in trouble! No.
It's all the magical characters. You're gonna have to get all of them.
Every time! I've forgotten her voice. It always sounds like butchered anyway.
It's fine.
It's not fun. Think. It's actually been quite a long time since we've seen Garp.
No, she was in episode 7.
Yeah, but how many weeks have we been recording and Garp's been there? At least 3 or 4.
She had, like, a English accent, didn't she?
Yeah,
British.
It doesn't sound like that when it comes out of my mouth, though.
Just do it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I got nothing.
No one's judging.
Hey there, the Riche. Long time no see. Oh gosh, what is it? Wow, how long it's been since we've had so many of us here? Not since Nasi's trial, right? And you could hardly call that a party.
If you're talking about a party...
You'd better not try and leave us out of it. Dang, just how many of them are there? She's got no smoker's cough today.
If they keep coming out like this, there'll be more of them than us humans.
You can come out now, Sakutaro.
Uryu!
Lord Battler, it was an honor to receive your invitation. Let it be known that it is an honor.
Hey, glad you came. It's been a long time. How have you been?
Very well, thank you. Fighting with you is always extremely fun. I have had enough of stamping documents. Commander Dillinor, know that your to-do box is piling up as we speak.
Please make haste with the approval of our vacation papers. They are exceedingly important.
Sounds like living in the Great Court is as boring as ever. Lord Battler, I fear I must bring you some sad news.
What is it? Dillinor held out an envelope. It was one of the invitation cards that Battler had handed out for this night's party. The name on the card was Frudo Erica.
We did all we could.
The invitation was filled with stamps bearing the unreadable words of various foreign countries. Even without reading them, it was easy to guess that it had been returned to sender, destination unknown. I see. Thanks for trying so hard.
The depths of oblivion are like an empty, endless desert, or perhaps the bottom of the sea. No one besides Lady Berncastle herself could find her location.
I did send invitations to those witches too. We'll have to hope they have the kindness to bring her along.
Lady Berncastle is just like a cat. She'll show up whenever she feels like it, but when she isn't in the mood, she'll never come no matter how often you call her. Yeah, that kid's totally like a cat. She'll come to get her food, but she won't let you pet her head.
Lambda Delta. So, you came.
Believe it or not, I'm a busy person, okay? Still, I am Beatrice's guardian. Wasn't I your guardian too? Well, anyway, I came because it's my responsibility. I happen to be in the neighborhood, so I stopped by. Hey, you, Gerda! I brought some presents. Could you just put these wherever for me?
For someone who just dropped by because she was in the neighborhood, she brought an awful lot of presents, which included colorfully wrapped bottles and food boxes. But Castell isn't here yet.
You really think she'd come? She's not the kind of kid who'd just drop by to say hi at a game she's lost. Probably. After all, she is very proud.
I seem to remember her putting us through hell, but she's still one of the players in this game. I thought it'd be good to have her over to celebrate the final night of the final game.
You're right. Without that kid, this game might not have reached its conclusion. Enemies and allies are the bare minimum you need for a game. True. Without a foe, there can be no game. At least I can enjoy defeat as just another part of the game. That kid can't. It's too bad, but she's been through a lot. So please don't blame her too harshly.
Actually, I was planning on thanking her. A lot of crazy stuff happened, but thanks to her, we were able to make it to where we are today.
Thanks. I don't know when I'll see her next, but if I'm lucky, I'll get my chance in a few hundred years. I'll let her know you said that. Ah, that's right. They don't have invitations, but I brought 2 guests with me.
Guests? Who? I'm pretty sure I sent invitations to all the usual suspects.
Come on over, you two. I'll introduce you. I thought so.
When Lambda snapped her fingers, the empty air exploded and 2 forms appeared.
If it isn't Willard.
Hey, I see you're as short as ever.
Now, here are some unfamiliar guests. Who are they?
Ow, ow, ow. Don't pinch my ass.
Shouldn't we be introducing ourselves first? I'm fairly certain that Badlicut and the others in this world don't know about us.
You have the mark of the one-winged eagle on your clothes. Are you an Ushiromio?
I forget Leon's name as well. Voice. My name is Ushiromia Leon. In my world, we're cousins. I'll introduce Leon. This is the successor to the Ushiromia family headship, born only in a world of extremely low probability. In that world, Jessica isn't an only child. She's Leon's little sister.
Now there's a surprise. So, there's a world like that.
Wait, you couldn't be. Pleased to meet you, Beatrice. I know quite a lot about you. See you smiling happily is the greatest joy I can imagine. I am as glad as anyone else that you have made it to this point. I see, so it's you. I'm glad you're here.
Beato realized who and what Leon was. The two of them stared at each other's faces as though looking at their own face in a mirror. Willard's the name. I'm just a passing stranger who got caught up in a game you know nothing about.
He is an inquisitor of heresy from the Great Court, like myself. A truly skilled one, though he is now retired.
I see. If you're Dylan's friend, you can't be anyone bad. Please, make yourself at home.
Just where did these two come from? Belle brought them in and then made them pieces. When she was done with them and about to crush them, I picked them up. Ow said leaving them there would leave a bad aftertaste. Is that okay, if by chance Lady Burnacastle does drop by here? On this game board, they're my pieces, okay? And I can't wait to see the look on that kid's face when she bumps into them in a place like this.
I don't really get it, but you obviously brought them here for some shady reason.
That's all for my gifts. I'll just hang around for the rest. I'm leaving the rest to you, the host.
Come, Lord Battler.
If you don't announce it, we can't start.
The start of tonight's party at the end of this long game.
It's so much easier when we're in person to do it in sync. Ladies and gentlemen, your silence, please. Our territory lord, Lord Battler, has a message he wishes to convey to you all.
Enough of that. It's embarrassing.
Come on, it's a wife's responsibility. I am not letting anyone else take it.
Beato sulked and handed Battler a glass of champagne. Come to think of it, everyone had a glass in their hands now. Maria, you're a kid, so drink some sparkling cider instead.
Ooh, I want champagne too.
Hey, Maria-chan, why don't we drink some sparkling cider together?
Battler, our drinks are getting warm.
Agreed. Begin, Battler.
No objections, I see. This way, please, Lord Battler. Ronave motioned towards the center of the room. When Battler stepped forward, everyone silently awaited his words. Glad you all can make it. This marks the end of my long game with Beato. I've invited everyone who's been a part of this game as a piece, a player, or a game master. I hope you'll enjoy this unending night to the fullest.
Cheers! Cheers!
Everyone raised their glasses to the heavens as they cheered, and afterward, the soft sound of glass clinking together rang out across the room.
I object.
I'm just trying to think which version, the old or the young.
It works either way, because it's the old RG and the young RG's body.
Only I was apart from all that fun noise. Maybe that's what did it. Before I realized it, my cheeks were wet with tears. I was lying on the sofa, covered by a blanket. I can just barely remember getting sleepy and falling asleep in the chair. It should be the young one! What was the young one's voice? Someone probably carried me here. I can't actually hear them, but I get the feeling that everyone's still in the hole, having a good time. I want to go there too. No, I will go over there. It's what I've wanted all along, but I never took the first step. Does she step into the room and they all disappear because of her anti-magic toxin? I'll go to where everyone is. My head still feels hazy, so there aren't any complicated thoughts in my mind. But that's okay. It's okay if my head's empty. I'll be together with everyone. I'll go to where they are. That's all that matters. I got up from the sofa and put on my shoes. Let's go to where everyone is. The parlor door was shut. I tried to open it, but maybe because of my clumsiness, I couldn't get it open. It was a bit creepy, as though the bad dream I had just had was still going on. It won't open. Why? It isn't even locked. My mood grew darker and darker. The knob that locks or unlocks the door is shut on this side. If I twist it, I should be able to lock or unlock it. I turned it. The door won't open. Did I accidentally lock it just now? I turned it. The door won't open. It didn't open the last time, so it should have opened this time. I don't have a clue how I'm supposed to turn it to unlock the door. I kept on alternating between turning the lock and roughly twisting the doorknob. I began to get irritated, wondering why they'd lock me away behind such an inconvenient door. Eventually, I ran out of patience and pounded hard on the door, but that noise didn't bring anyone to me. Why am I locked up in a place like this, all alone? Everyone else is having a fun party, right there in the hall. Let me out of here! At that moment, a cold wind blew past me. The wind rippled through my hair. Wind inside? I turned around to find the window curtain waving about. There was a sound like scraping or crying. At some point, the double window had opened outwards towards the darkness. The icy wind that came through it told me that this window was the only exit from this room. Huh? I suddenly realized that the darkness beyond the open windows was glaring at me, and my heart leapt. A cute sound rang out. I finally understood. That sound was a cat's bell. Oh no. Is it Berncastle?
It's a cat.
They just
You're
have been
reading
talking.
the narration
They
as a
just
cat.
had been talking about like Berncastle being a cat. She doesn't have emerald eyes though. The glaring emerald eyes in the darkness were those of a cat standing in the open window. Its pitch-black luxuriant fur left only the eyes visible, blending in with the darkness easily. Did the Ushiromiya family own a cat?
Yeah, the whole time.
It has a bell on it, so it can't be a stray. It's a cat someone owns. At any rate, the cat was standing by the window and staring straight at me. Who are you? Of course, the cat didn't answer my question. I didn't think it was a cute cat, but I thought it might be trying to tell me something, so I approached it slowly. As I did, the cat did an about face, turning its back to me. Then, it turned its head to look at me, almost as though it was telling me to follow it. And it leapt down into the darkness, leaving the jingle of its bell behind. When I peeked out the window, I saw the cat waiting for me under the pounding rain. I finally realized this window was the only exit out of this closed-room parlor. The cat must have come to tell me that. The longer I keep standing around here, the longer the cat will have to wait in the rain. That's no good. It'll catch cold. I climbed up onto the windowsill and went out the window. The wind was strong and the rain was cold, but I didn't get as wet as I thought I would. I might have been in the mansion's shadow. When the cat saw that I was outside, it walked along the wall of the mansion as if guiding me. It quickly disappeared into the blackness, but every now and then it would turn around and set the bell jingling to let me know it was there. Eventually, a window with light seeping out came into view. It was the window to the hole. When I peeked inside, I saw everyone having a good time. I couldn't hear their voices, but they were all right there. Open up! Open up! I pounded on the window, but no one heard. Maybe the window was really thick, or maybe it was just noisy inside. Or it might have been so dark outside that I blended in with the darkness. At any rate, no matter how much I hit the window, it didn't look as though anyone noticed. By this point, my loneliness was giving way to anger. Why didn't you notice me? Why did you lock me up in that room all alone? I've had enough. I'll get inside somehow and I'll yell at everyone. When the cat realized that I had given up knocking on the window, it led me onwards with another jingle. But just where is this cat going? I know it's following the wall of the mansion, but that's not the way to the front door. The front door might be locked. I'm sure the cat knows a way into the mansion and is leading me there. Away from the light seeping from the hall, and towards the blackness lit only dimly by the lights in the garden, the cat and I continued to walk.
This is symbolism.
Cat box? Cat? No? Then I found it! An open window! The cat stood below it and looked between me and the window as though telling me to go inside.
It's like, remember the good times? We'll go down this other path. Yeah.
Oh. Thanks, kitty. I'd like to give you some milk to thank you. Won't you come with me? When I walked closer to pick the cat up, it slipped away from my hands and flew into the bushes in a nearby flower bed. Well, she can't go to the good times, though. I won't let her in. Is that because it's only a memory?
Yeah, she can't go to the good times no matter what, because, yeah, it's just her memories.
Gone.
It's like, you can stay with those memories in your head, or you can, like, corrupt them with learning the truth, I guess.
When I walked closer to pick the cat up, it slipped away from my hands and flew into the bushes in a nearby flower bed. Then, as though it really had melted away into the darkness inside the bush, all traces of it vanished. No matter how much I strained my ears, I couldn't hear the sound of that bell. Suddenly, the wind changed directions and the rain started to hit me fiercely. I can't stay in a place like this forever. I will go inside. What room is this, I wonder? I climbed up onto the windowsill and entered the room. Then the window silently shut and locked itself. Good! That saves me the trouble of doing it myself, but you can't get back out. The room was completely dark. However, as my eyes got used to the darkness, I was able to make out a few things. It was a large room. There was a long table and many chairs. It was the dining hall. Perhaps because I realized this and relaxed, it quickly became hard for me to make out details. I searched blindly along the wall for the light switch. Then, finally, I felt a familiar shape. Wouldn't it be annoying if I pushed this and the light didn't come on? In fact, it was nearly the opposite, and an annoyingly bright light filled the dining hall and made my eyes hurt. I slowly opened my tightly shut eyes. And then I saw the state the room was in. The dining hall was covered with blood. Here and there were humans lying on the floor. Then I realized that two of the people were my own parents.
Hey, are you having a great time, people?
If anyone's not having a good time, we're gonna eat you. yell and sing the praises of tonight's banquet.
The hall was alive with the mingling of humans and the magical illusions who lived on this island. At first, everyone stayed with their own groups, too nervous to mingle. However, as time passed, people started to move around, and both halves began to chat happily together.
But they just never listen, do they?
Leadership's important. You need to lead by example if you want anyone to follow you. Maybe some subordinates are like that, but I've never had any success with any ordinary methods. Anyway, you're done for if your subordinates don't take you seriously. It's important to scold people loudly, even for small mistakes, every once in a while in front of everyone else. You can't do that. It'll just make everyone scared. A leader has to be an example for everyone to follow. If you really want to be a leader... Everyone listened intently to the Vegeta line's theory on leadership.
Vegeta line?
Vegeta. He was a vegetarian.
Oh.
This was after several rounds of drinks had gone by, and everyone was unnaturally focused on the conversation.
I think it was you.
Oh, that's you.
Is it Envy?
Yeah.
You did the voice.
Did I?
Yeah.
Kitty, eh? Why do you get stronger the more jealous you are?
Don't make it sound so bad. If I want something, I won't let it slip away. I always put that theory into practice. There's nothing more to it.
Thanks for waiting, everyone. Even more food is on the way. Oh, butting in on the family party like this. And yet, while I hate to admit it, every moment of his is flawless. Just what sort of hotel did he train at?
Too bad Runaway Summer just happens to be totally perfect. But I still love Gerda more. This one's been cooked just right.
Seven Sisters had blended into the party.
He's
perfectly,
loving it. Look at his face.
and they were making things interesting.
And yet many great mysteries are called masterpieces, despite being shut down by Van Dien's 20 rules.
It's not like I'm trying to shut down anything. Mystery novels exist for the sake of your own amusement. If you have fun, that's all that matters. Know that even the great wizard hunting rite has gone quite soft. Whether it's literature or forms of amusement, generally accepted rules change with the times. It must be the same with mystery novels, yes? Everyone chimed in on Will's theory of mystery novels. There was no shortage of things to talk about. Yes, that is a fitting attitude for a beginner. However, at that rate, you'll never become a key player in your organization.
But none of the regulations are always to be enforced. That's something for newbies to do. Don't forget that regulations and rules are pretty much guidelines for the new guys who don't know any better.
You said it. You can't really call yourself an adult until you learn how to move outside the rules. You're still a kid if you let the rules hold you back.
I can't stand letting other people do the work. I'm Mammon of Greed. I'll do all the jobs myself. That's some spirit you've got there. How much are they paying you for being a sister of purgatory? Come get a job at my husband's business instead. I'll recommend you personally.
The humans and the illusions were now very much on casual terms.
I see. So this is how it's done in the world of witches.
Yeah, you've got it, yeah. Where we come from, you pour the tea onto the saucer, press your palms on the table, and slurp it up like a dog, yeah?
What the hell are you teaching her? Who does that? And Nazi, what do you think you're doing getting tricked like that at your age?
Get away from her, Satan.
Back, Satan!
How can you be so rude to Natsuki-san?
Huh?
Oh wait, that's you.
Why are you crying, Satan? Was I too hard on you? Just a 410, son. Please stop giving my pure and trusting mother such crazy ideas. Don't worry, it won't leave a mark.
410 started yelling about animal abuse, jumping around in circles and holding her butt. I wonder if there's a prince out there for me. I want to have some hot, passionate love.
If I fell in love, could I become a beautiful princess too? Of course, love is a miracle, power, a mineral. It grants you invincible strength. Is that the person who once claimed that love equals lust, I hear?
Indeed. It would seem she's getting her fill every night.
Oh, Kenzo!
You can't keep getting away with it.
Oh my goodness, you gotta go back.
That's it.
Oh, really? Shut up, you perverts.
The circle surrounding Beato was always a lively one.
Oh, Kenzo. He's just so, like... I don't think he can properly have a redemption arc because deep down his soul character is just so, like, skeezy. He's just wrong. On so many levels.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Thank you, Canon.
It's only when we're given orders that we find meaning in our lives.
I get nervous when I don't have any orders. Someone order me to do something or I'll die. You can't have that attitude. You gotta find your own meaning for your life. Cut your own path. That's right. Your resolve has to be certain and absolute, okay? Back when I was human, I lived like a daredevil all the time.
A bit shakily, Lambda Delta started talking about her theory of life. Apparently, she'd also had her fair share of champagne.
What a bizarre scene. Yeah, I guess so. Delano-sama, would you like some more to drink? Something non-alcoholic. After all, I am a kid.
Shannon will do. Do you have a second? Battler came back into the hall. He was searching for a servant, and the first one his eyes met was Shannon.
Of course, Battler-sama. Do you need something?
Sorry, but would you mind lending me the key to the parlor?
The parlor? I can get you in with the master key, but why?
Well, I was just wondering if Angie was asleep, so I went over there. The door was locked.
Oh no! Locked?
Thank
It
you.
turned on. Weird. Locked? After we carried Angie-sama to the sofa, we shut the door, but we didn't lock it.
Don't tell me that, Angie. She must have felt like she was being left out of the fun and locked the door from the inside in a huff. Silly kid.
Shall we unlock it then?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Sorry about the trouble. Battler and Shannon left the hall together.
How can that happen if he's the one who has the control of the game board?
We'll see. In the hall, Lambda Delta started suggesting that they all have another quiz tournament together. Apparently, the Witch of Certainty would be handing out prizes. Everyone seemed enthusiastic about the idea, smiling contentedly at the ensuing uproar. Battler headed towards the parlor.
It really is locked. Shall I open it?
She was sleeping, so I didn't knock on the door. But if she locked it, that proves she's awake. Let's try knocking once. Battler knocked on the door and called Angie's name. However, there was no response from the other side. He pressed his ear against the door, listening carefully, but there was no hint of Angie unhappily throwing a cushion at it. She might have fallen asleep again after having her little tantrum. Could you open it for me?
As you wish.
Shannon took out her master key and unlocked the door. Then she stepped back to let Battler go through. Angie, I'm coming in. Speaking a quiet voice to avoid waking Anji if she was asleep, Battler opened the door. Then, just as the door was opened, a chilly breeze drifted by. The breeze, which felt like outside air, immediately caught the attention of the pair, and they looked at each other. It could be seen at a glance that Anji wasn't in the parlour. The curtains on the wide open window fluttered about. Anji? Anji? A blanket lay crumpled up on the sofa. It sat there just as Anji had left it after waking up. The blanket was slightly warm. Clearly she had been here until a short while ago.
Anji-sama, are you there?
She obviously wasn't playing hide and seek. Anji was nowhere to be seen in the parlour. Battler peered out the open window into the rainy blackness. So, she slipped out the window in this rain and went. Where?
Do you think Anji-sama might have gone out the window?
That'd make her one hell of a sleepwalker. She couldn't have left from the main entrance, so she probably doesn't have an umbrella. It was very hard to imagine a reason Anji might have for going outside in this weather. I have a bad feeling about this. This shouldn't be happening. I'm the game master of this game board. So why are we in a situation that the game master can't understand? A large bolt of lightning lit up the surrounding area for an instant, but I was unable to see any trace of Anji.
Okay, now it's my turn to think of a question. Okay, so you have a third of a cake, a quarter of a cake, and a fifth of a cake all in a plate. It takes 30 minutes to eat one whole cake, so how much is left on the plate when you've finished eating?
At that moment, there was a roar of thunder and the lights flickered. The cheery voices vanished in an instant, like candles being blown out.
Berncastle or Erica?
It'd be Bern or Anji.
Oh.
None. And that's a riddle you were tricked with once, isn't it? Amidst the silence, one voice rang out and answered Lambda's riddle. The crowd parted, and the form of a girl, a 1,000-year-old witch, came into view. She had been invited. She was an official guest holding an invitation to this party. Sorry I'm late. I was busy planning some festivities to liven up the party. As Bernkastel spoke, she looked around at everyone. Oh, and I thought you two were rotting away in the fragment sea.
They're my pieces now. Pretty cool, right?
She stared at Leon and Will with an unnerving smile on her face, but she seemed to lose interest. Where's Battler and Beato? I'm a guest, aren't I? Isn't there anyone to welcome me in? I'm here.
We did invite you, but I didn't expect you to actually come. I see, this must truly be a miracle.
Now that's an interesting way to put it. Why'd everyone get so quiet? This is a party, right? Go ahead and be noisy just for the hell of it. Or is you welcome me with the silence part of some kind of joke? Now it's your turn. My turn for what? You asked where Battler was, so I told you I was here. Now it's your turn.
What are you talking about? Did something happen?
Anji's gone. Even I, the game master, don't know where she went.
That's insane. Isn't this your game? That doesn't make sense.
If Anji disappearing isn't a scenario created by Butler, then that means there must be another game master.
Is that even possible?
Oh yes, I was surprised myself. Just when I opened the game board to start a delightful game of my own, I found that Battler had started up this bizarre game at the same time. I never thought I'd be in a game with two game masters. In other words, you're admitting that you hid Anji away somewhere.
It would seem so. After all, no one could introduce a scenario you didn't build. Except another game master.
So is this one of those festivities to liven up the party that you mentioned?
You all looked like you were having a blast with that quiz tournament, so I decided I wanted to join in.
And you chose to hold Anji hostage for that purpose?
You've got it, Battler, Beato. I want to challenge you to a game. You cannot refuse. Not if you treasure Anji as a little sister, that is. What do you want? Lambda and I made a bet about the game between you and Beato. I must acknowledge that I've lost. At least, that I've lost to Lambda.
Ben tries to act all dry, but she's way more persistent than she looks. So you're saying you lost to me, but not to Butler and Beato?
It seemed as though Berncastel might smile. However, she didn't. His cold eyes spoke without words. Battler understood. He had played so many games against Beato. Those games had been a wordless message from Beato, so he knew. He understood. She wants to fight us. Is that it?
She will be a fearsome opponent.
But we can't back out.
I know that. We mustn't let Anji become Lady Berncastel's plaything.
Beato understood as well. She understood why Berncastel was asking for one final battle.
I never thought I'd see Bern fighting openly like this.
Do you find that funny?
Why would I?
Thanks. Lambda Delta understood as well. Before the tale of Battler and Beato ended, before everything was locked away in the cat box, Berncastel would finally move from the audience to the stage. That witch, who had hidden off to the side of the stage, unwilling to come out into the light, would now show that she had the courage to step forward onto the stage itself. As a friend, Lambda Delta showed her that she understood Berncastel's human emotions, which had given her this courage.
Is there anything I can do?
Please act as an observer for my game.
Sure, if you promise that you'll release Angie if we take part in your game, that is.
Of course, without such a promise, we aren't obligated to go along with this farce in any way.
He may not owe me anything, but you'll never see Anji again.
In that case, you can enjoy being branded as a loser for the next few centuries.
Beato, don't provoke her. This isn't a fight we can back down from.
Indeed.
Now that a hostage had been taken, their ability to negotiate had disappeared. However, Lambda Delta was agreeing to become an observer if that would make Berncastel promise to release Anji. Unless she held Berncastel to a promise like that, the latter would have nothing to lose. To make this final fight, Berncastel wanted a proper one. Lambda Delta made her agree to this. Of course, Lambda, I promise. When the game ends, I'll release Anji.
Don't make a fool of me, okay? When I get shamed, I never let go of the one who did it until they regret it.
Lambda Delta spoke in a soft, threatening tone. However, Berncastel laughed lightly as though the look on Lambda's face was merely cute. I swear it. I swear it on our friendship.
Phew!
Lambda Delta whistled and grinned. Apparently this was the most reliable oath Berncastel could utter.
Okay.
Lambda Delta nodded, looked between Battler and Berncastel, and spoke.
By the name of Lambda Delta of Witch of Certainty, I accept the role of observer for your fight. Battler Beato, you have no objections, right?
Battler and Beato nodded at each other, then nodded at Lambda Delta to show their determination. I'm so glad we finally get to fight each other. I had a feeling I'd end up fighting you sooner or later. Since when? I'm not sure. It might have been before I even learned your name. Battler vaguely remembered her speaking to him somewhere in an unconscious world he couldn't recall. At the time, it had sounded like she was giving him advice for his fight with Beato. But thinking back on it, there's a bit more to it than that. She might have been a cat fighting from the sidelines, too scared to go out into the bright sunlight. So I had a vague premonition that, eventually, we would stand opposed to each other on the game board in some way. She was also one of the players. Now, at the very end, as the game board is being put away, she's finally found the courage to step up into the stage. I'd like to accept your brave challenge, in the name of that courageous girl who was once your piece. I forced Erica to fight a duel. I wanted to win, and, even more strongly, I didn't want to lose. The fear of possibly tasting defeat tormented me, and, thinking back on it, I envied you two back then. Erica was a great piece of yours, and my rival. I won't forgive you for abandoning her in the end and burying her in the depths of oblivion. Just what do you want me to do? Apologize to Erica? Save Erica from the depths of oblivion and invite her to this party. Save Erica?
I feel the same as Battler. She was a piece who stood in opposition to us, but she was only faithfully fulfilling her role. There can be no game without a rival. She remains our enemy, but she's also an important friend to us.
Even though she made you suffer so much. We fought a fair fight. The outcome may have changed our fates, but now that we've dueled each other, we'll always be friends.
You want to be their friend too, don't you, Burn? That's why you want a fair fight with them now, isn't it?
Are you laughing at me?
We aren't.
On the contrary, we welcome it. Even though I've taken a hostage. If you didn't, you probably wouldn't have been able to come up into the stage. There had been no need to take a hostage. Battler and Beato had been more than willing to accept this final duel if Berncastel wished it. It was hard to make out anything from Berncastel's silent expression. Fine.
What's fine?
I'll release Erica from the depths.
But she's gonna keep Angie?
I'm glad you decided to do this. For someone as proud as Berncastel, forgiving the piece who had caused her defeat should have been nearly unbearable. Battler knew this, so he realized how much this bit of compassion had cost Berncastel. Berncastel snapped her fingers and a black cat slipped out of her shadow. I tossed her all the way into the deepest parts of oblivion. It might take her a while to get here.
It matters not. There's no danger of the food and drink running out.
Go, kitty. Guide that kid here. When she gave this order, the cat melted into the darkness, its bell jingling.
I can hardly believe that you forgive Erica!
I don't plan on forgiving her. So, she's not my piece anymore. Anyone feel like picking her up? After all, you already picked up Leon and Will. Berncastel, you have my thanks. Okay, enough with the sentimentality. I've already had as much as I can bear. Sure, where will we have the game? As far as I care, we could have it here, with all the noise or in the usual quiet spot.
Lady Berncastel has already shown that she has the courage to stand before a great many people. There is no point in making her suffer any longer.
Good point. Then let's go to the usual place.
Any objections, Burn?
None.
Sorry, partygoers. We'll be heading out for a bit, but please, continue to enjoy yourselves. Zeppa, Fuffa, liven this place up. When Erica gets here, that's everyone
Yes, Lady Lambda Delta.
Your wish is our command. Now then, let us take her to the usual room. The usual room. A fitting place for our battle of wits.
When Battler snapped his fingers, space shattered. They were now in the smoking room of the witches, the place where witches had once debated, schemed, and reasoned all they could. Bernkastel had been invited there once again, and the final game would now begin. Do you have a game prepared? Of course. I worked hard on this game, and I'm pretty proud of it.
So, Bern will be the game master and Butler and Beata will be the players? Will it be a normal game where Bern creates a murder tale and two players have to reconstruct it with human tricks?
I'm interested to see what sort of scenario Lady Bernkastel develops.
We'll have to explain things with the blue truth, and you'll knock those down with the red. Are we okay with those rules? My game will be a simpler one. It's just a quiz of guessing the culprit. I don't feel like trading red and blue with you.
Oh, what kind of game will that be? Would you mind letting me have a look at it first?
Bernkastel held her palm upward, and a palely glowing fragment appeared there. Lambda Delta brushed it with her hand and shut her eyes. See? It's a simple game, isn't it?
You're right, it's much more straightforward than the mind games these two played in the past. This isn't even a game about witches and humans anymore.
And that's right, and this is a game about humans.
What a surprise! The game Bern created to combat Beata's fantasy is a genuine mystery.
Please explain.
It's extremely simple. You'll watch the tale Bern has prepared for you. There are several rules to it, but if you follow them as you read it through, it'll lead you to a single truth. In other words, an answer.
So, it's an ordinary mystery novel.
I see. In that case, there's no need for combat between red and blue truth.
In Beato's games, the argument had been about whether the story was a mystery or not. However, Bernkastel's game was a mystery. There was no need to argue over that from the start. I've even cut out the motive and the tricks, and there's only one question I'm asking you. Who done it?
What a simple yet fitting game to conclude our fight.
Yeah, no cheap tricks. Just a stoically simple game.
This is a genuine duel.
As the observer, I'll say this. This game is made to be solvable. In other words, I guarantee that it's a suitable setting for your duel. Bern, I know I keep saying this, but are you really sure? Butler and Beata's relationship started because they both loved mystery. I agree it's a pretty tricky scenario, but I'm not sure it'll be enough to stop these two.
If my best tale can't stop them, then what comes will come.
The important thing is that Lady Bernkastel put everything she had into this game.
You're right. Will that be enough to stump us? That's all this simple game is about. Thanks, Lambda. Thanks to you, we know that this duel will be a fair fight.
You're welcome. I'm happy too. It'll be an honor to witness Bern fighting this precious fight.
I am also honored to have you as an opponent.
Same here. I underestimated you, and I did it without even stepping onto the battlefield with you. Just thinking about it makes me want to vomit, so let me fight.
Indeed. Show us what you've got.
If I win, I'll be able to look down on you for real this time, and if I lose, I'll surely be reminded of the emotion I know I've forgotten.
Indeed.
Bernkastel, whether you end up winning or losing, I promise you one thing. What's that? When this duel is over, we'll be friends. Enough of that, please. The sentimentality is killing me. Lambda clapped her hands. A pleasant sound rang out.
Will you be the reader, Burn? Or shall I do that?
I don't need a reader.
Huh?
A reader Miko can use her own voice to embellish or distort the tale. Even if there was no cheap trickery in my game, by having a reader, any amount of trickery could be added.
Yes, that is true. It's another of the Game Master's privileges.
I want to have a straightforward duel with you, so I don't need a reader. You can read this tale with your own eyes and ears.
Are you sure? That means you've lost almost all of your advantages.
Understood. You don't need a reader. We'll read the tale ourselves.
If there is no reader, does that mean there will be absolutely no falsehoods contained in the narrated text?
We're ready, Burncastel. A showdown over a genuine mystery without any cheap tricks. If you're going to play fair and square, we'll challenge you head on too. Thank you, and I don't plan on losing either.
No, no, no. That's no good, Lady Byrne.
She's right. If you're a witch challenging us with a mystery, you can't have an attitude like that. Yeah, it's all useless. Burncastel, realizing what Battler and Beate were asking for, snorted. Lambda Delta nodded at her, telling her to enjoy this final duel to the fullest. What were you expecting, a happy mystery chat between humans and witches? Come on, don't make me laugh. Let's see if your cheery mysteries are any match for the one I've prepared. Let's see what you've got.
We wouldn't have it any other way. Yes, we'll accept your challenge, Lady Burncastel, Witch of Miracles.
Alright, time to start. I, Game Master Ishiromia Battler, and Beatrice the Endless Witch will be your opponents. Don't start crying when we wipe the floor with you. Take this. Here's my mystery. Burncastel took a fragment containing the game and smashed it against the table, shattering it with a brilliant light as the game scenario laid itself out. The curtain rose on the mystery Burncastel had created.
No sound, but that of the falling rain filled the room. It covered the tragic scene in the bloody dining hall.
I don't know.
If that was a chapter reset.
First, did you catch on what they were saying there?
It's a mystery novel?
About, needing a reader?
The reader can embellish things. So was that implying that Angie was embellishing or like
I was just saying, like,
influencing the story?
the whole time, the narrator was not. They call it the unreliable narrator. So you're reading the narration, you're like, I don't know, if you read just like a Harry Potter book or something, the narration is just that. It's like, oh, this is telling us the story. But then in this, the narrator is telling you the story along with interpretations, their own personal interpretations of things and stuff.
Is that kind of what like Butler was trying to get Angie to see as well with this game, where he's like wants her to remember like the happy times as well? And Angie's just like, what is this filth?
I don't know. Like, he really just wants her to be happy.
Yeah.
I don't know if her knowing that's his goal through the story would change that or not, but I don't know. I don't know if that chapter will like end in like a few lines, or if this is like a whole
New
new
one.
segment. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
It didn't have the regular pop up though.
Yeah, but so this is gonna be like another quiz thing.
Oh.
So we'll get the story, the game, and then you have to go through and solve it. I'll save it here at least, anyway. Just have a skim through.
It looks like it's gonna go straight into the like solving.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
We'll leave it for the next time then. Like, even if it's not a chapter, I think it's a good,
Good time for a break.
or just, yeah, it's a good place to leave it off and then get started right back into it. Alright. We'll leave it there then. Any thoughts? Theories? Queries?
I was starting to fall
Theories?
asleep.
Yeah, I know you are.
I don't know why. It's the middle of the day.
That is not an excuse,
I got
okay?
woken up very early this morning by someone saying they couldn't sleep because they wanted to play.
Well, you tell them. Go play. Just without me.
And then I went to sleep and he was tickling my feet until I woke up and he wouldn't stop until he got up. It's like, why? I'm tired.
He wants to show you his game he's created.
The chessboard.